Alright, I think we're back with it. Let's go ahead and check this out. Yo, what up, Sinners of Infinite Sin, here with another reaction. How have you guys been? I know it's been a minute since I took the week off last week, had a lot going on. We're back in the swing of things, and today I'm doing a lot of recording for this week, so if you see me wearing the same shirt in all of my recordings, that's why. Today we're doing Request Monday. We're on the road to finishing all the requests that we got from the Patreon winners. I have 12 that I have to go through, well, technically 11 now. But today's request is from T, and she won one of the spots and requested that I watch Blue and Gray. Now this is from the B album. This is more relevant, more recent in terms of releases. I will be steadily going through all of the album listens just the same as I always have been, Tuesdays and Thursdays. This won't interrupt anything. This is just what we're doing today. You guys, I've heard you ask for this song a lot. Like, this is one of the must listen tos apparently on the B album, so I'm really excited about it. I hope you enjoy it. Hi, if you're new, I'm Infinite Sin. I react to BTS songs and music videos. What we do is we do a lyric analysis, we do a visual analysis of any videos that we have, and then at the end of everything, after all the work is done, we tack on a little something extra at the end of the video, like a live dance performance, etc. You guys get the idea. I'm not going to talk too much. I've got a busy week this week. Discord is opening up on Monday for all Patreon members, so if you're on Patreon and you want to be part of the Discord, all you gotta do is sign up. Doesn't matter what tier. Alright, so today we're doing Blue and Gray. Y'all sit back, sit tight, let me do all the work. Let's check this song out. Let's get the spread. It's a Tay ballad. It's so soft.
뒤를 돌아보니 여기 우두커니 손이 나를 집어삼켜버리는 저 서스퍼른 그림 여전히 더 파란색 물음표는 과연 불안인지 우린지 어쩜 정말 후회의 동물인지 아니면 외로움이나 나을지 여전히 모르겠어 서스퍼른 blue 잠시되지.
It's so subtly like steady. This is a very pretty song.
늘 받는 but 오늘은 왠지 낯선 씨 무뎌진 걸까 무너진 걸까 근데 무겁긴 하다 있었던 일 다가오는 회색 코뿔 써 주저없이 난 덩그러니 서있어 나답지 않아 이 순간 그냥 무섭지가 않아 난 확신이라신 따위 안 믿어 색채 같은 말에 간지러 넓은 회색 지대가 변해 여기 수억 가지 표정의 그래 비가 오면 내 세상 이 도시 위로 춤춘다 맑은 날엔 안개로는 날엔 한편 저기 모든 먼지들
It's so pretty, dude. I've got so much to say about this. Whoever produced this song did a very, very good job. Oh my god, dude, that was... Oh my god, that was so good, bro. What? He's up with y'all. Y'all are hitting on my heartstrings, okay? First off, it is unfair of you. Most of you are in Discord, and y'all know that I'm a sucker for a ballad. Right, so this is highly... I feel attacked right now, alright? But this song is so good, dude. Y'all weren't lying. This song is so good. And not for the sheer fact of the words, because we don't know what the song's about, but just in general, the music composition of this song is fantastic. Y'all know that music set the tone for a lot of things. A lot of moods, right? Especially moods. And if anything, I've proven it when I do my trailers. The reason my trailers are so good is not because of the work that I put into it, in my opinion, but because of the music that I put in it to go with what I'm doing. It sets the tone for what my ideas are. It sets the mood for what the viewer sees and feels when they watch it. If you're not feeling goosebumps at the end of one of my trailers, then that means I messed up, right? That means I didn't do what I was supposed to, because when I was making things like that, I got goosebumps just with the thought of how it was going to end up, right? And I think they did really, really good job on that, and the fact that whoever composed this piece, and we'll find out when we do the lyric translation. Excellent. Stupendous job. Stupendous job. Based off the mood of this song, I would assume that blue and gray are more colors of the mood versus physical aspects. Gray being the sky when it's cloudy, right? Blue being the mood within you, right? Both sad vibes. But that's what I'm getting from this song. I love it. This is great. This is a great song. That's going to do it for the reaction. I'm going to go on to the next part. We're going to break down the lyrics to see what it's about and see if we still like it after the fact. So, see you guys there in a second. Alright, welcome back, you guys. We are here with the lyrics translation. I hope you guys are ready for this. I haven't heard a song like this in a very long time. Something that has the music behind it that just, like, hits my heartstrings. And speaking of strings, the music in this, the strings, I think, are what make this song... Strings are what give this song its mood. The lyrics behind it, like, you could sing about a lot of things, and just because the music's behind it, it would still have that vibe. Does that make sense? That overwhelming, not necessarily sad, but somber vibe. But I love where this is going, and I'm ready to see what they're saying. So we're gonna start from the beginning. This song is produced by Jisoo Park, Levi V, His Noise, right? And then it's written by Jisoo Park, Levi V, His Noise, Suga, RM, J-Hope, and Metaphor. So we have, let's see, V, Suga, RM, and J-Hope. 4 of the 7 guys wrote this song. The story goes, it says V reached out to Paul Kim and asked Kim to hook him up with NIV, I guess that's what that is, Park Jisoo, the composer lyricist for Paul Kim's The Reason for My Spring, which is something that I'll have to check out at another point in time, but we want to have all the context, right? The two met, which became an impromptu melody lyric writing battle that V shared on his Twitter in April 2020. Oh, okay. NIV also produced his cover of Dynamite on Twitter in September 2020. Alright. A snippet of this track was played on episode 5 of In the Soup, BTS version, during V's canoe ride. We haven't got there yet. We're going to get there eventually, hopefully. During the global press conference for V said his track expresses gloomy and anxious internal emotions as the colors blue and gray, and although the lyrics can be dark, the guitar sound gives a warm feeling. I guess. That's fair. He described himself as someone who experienced and knows burnout. Oh my god. It's a real thing, you guys, okay? Well, previously he absorbed it and suffered from it. As a result, he thinks he's grown now that he writes it out. He feels accomplished by writing a song that contains the emotions he feels from burnout, and it's the thrill he gets after completing a song that helps him recover. I highly recommend his Weverse magazine interview for more details. That's fair. He kind of took the fun out of me figuring out what the song was about, but I mean, it's fair enough. At least we got this. On his YouTube channel, English subtitles are available. NIV shared how he and V started working on his piece and walked the listeners through the production process. V had suggested NIV that they write a song about gloominess, which can nonetheless deliver a message of hope and comfort. Among many deliberate choices NIV made was to insert the sound of heartbeats into the track to give warmth to the song. I didn't even notice it, dude. Okay, we'll pay attention. Right now we're going to do lyric translation. Obviously we know what the song's about. Let's just see how it's translated out, and hopefully this will be a little bit quicker than normal because of that. So for those of you who are new here, we normally just like listen to a verse to the chorus, then we translate it, but since we kind of already know what's going on, we'll still do that, but we won't have to like debate over what they're talking about.
Where's my engine? 하루의 끝을 들리운 Someone come and save me please 지친 하루의 한숨뿐 사람들은 다 행복한가 봐 Can you look at me cause I'm blue and gray 거울에 비친 물의 의미는 웃음에 감춰진 나의 색깔 blue and gray 어디서부터 잘못됐는지 잘 모르겠어 나 어려서부터 머릿속엔 파란색 물음표 어쩜 그랬어 치열하게 살았는지 모르지 But 뒤를 돌아보니 여기 우두커니 손이 나를 집어삼켜버리는 저 서스퍼른 그림 여전히 더 파란색 물음표는 과연 불안인지 우린지 어쩜 정말 후회 동물인지 아니면 외로움이나 나을지 여전히 모르겠어 서스퍼른 blue 잠시되지 않길 바래 찾을 거야 I just wanna be happier 차가운 날 녹여줘 수없이 내민 나의 손 색깔 없는 메아리 All this ground feels so heavier I'm singing by myself
And okay, so we're stop. God dang. Okay, so first off, I'm impressed by Jibbit's soft vocals. The nice falsetto was a great additive to the mood. It's definitely hit me a little bit harder than I expected. So the first line says, "Where's my angel? At the end of the day, casting its shadow. Someone come and save me, please." It's only the sigh of the exhausting day. It's not only the sigh of the exhausting day, but I feel like at the end of an exhausting day, we just want someone to take away the exhaustion and the depression of the fact that we had to kind of put forth all this effort just to enjoy the day, right? And this comes from like internal conflict of you have to be happy. Like imagine someone with depression, right? They put on the face, they put on the smile, but no one really knows what's going on inside of them. It's actually a battle for them just to smile or even get out of bed. I'm pretty sure there are a few viewers who are watching right now that are going through some of these things that I'm talking about. But at the end of the day, you just wish there were an angel who could take away the exhaustion of having to fake your way through it. And God, it speaks to me, like specifically because of the burnout aspect. Now that we know that, I suffer through it myself. There are days when I don't want to do anything. There's a lot of times where I'm like, I have a lot of work to do. Today is one of those days. And the just sheer fact that my energy is not up enough for me to jump on a video, or it's a lot to put into yourself, like exert from yourself. And plus on top of that, I don't have anybody to do my work for me. I do everything. So it's like after I'm done filming and doing all the fun stuff, I have work I have to do, and it's just mentally exhausting. And even when I'm not doing anything per se on terms of like video wise, like if today wasn't a recording day, a simple day of doing nothing would still be exhausting. And it's just getting out of that funk is super hard to do. It says it seems like people are all happy. Can you look at me? Because I'm blue and gray. The meaning of my tears that are reflected on the mirror is the color that is hidden under my smile, blue and gray. And this is just a reiteration of everything we just talked about. Why does everybody else seem so happy? And I just can't seem to, like, jump on board, right? And I know when I'm in those funks, my biggest question is, why do I feel like this? Why do I feel like this? Why can't I just be like everybody else? And I feel like that's the big summation of that little part right there. From when it went wrong, I believe this is Sugar's part. From when it went wrong, I'm not really sure. Not knowing when it started, when it happened. When I was young, there's been a blue question mark in my mind, right? There's been a sadness. When did it start, that sadness? In my head, these wonderings are only full of blue, is the reference from Sugar's interlude, which I'm not sure if we've actually got to that yet. Perhaps that's why I lived fiercely. But as I look back, standing here absently, that ferocious shadow that engulfs me, the blue question mark that still exists. Oh man, dude, it's crazy. But as I look back, standing here absently, like, coasting through the world, right? And perhaps that's why I live fiercely. Like, maybe that's why I've always been so competitive, or, like, anxious, or defensive, or just could insert word here, right? Would it be anxiety or depression? Unease and gloom, not to be confused with clinical anxiety or depression, right? Clinical depression is a lot more serious, but, like, when we talk about depression, and it stands at this point, we're talking about mental unease and sadness. It could be that humans are really the animals of regret. What? You said the humans are the animals of wisdom. To my eyes, it's obvious that they are the animals of regret, which is a reference from People magazine? Huh. Could it be that humans are really the animals of regret? It's so true, though. Gotta think about that. Like, when have you made a decision? When has there, in any of existence, ever been someone who doesn't regret at least one decision they've made in their life? But to be depressed and lonely, you probably question that more often than not. It's like, where did I go wrong? And that's probably that reference right there. Or is it just me as created by loneliness? Yes, absolutely. I still don't know. The ferocious blue. Hoping I don't get eaten away. I'll find the exit. What if the ferocious blue is like the sea of depression and regret and doubt and, like, uneasiness, etc., so forth, so on. But, like, what if the ferocious blue is supposed to be like an ocean of regret? Hoping I don't get eaten anyway by the monster. Find the exit. Oh my god. I just want to be happier. Please warm me, who is so cold. Okay, please help me to be happier. My hands that I reached out countless times. The echo is colorless. You can't see the echo with, like, the echo is a reference, right? The echo would be like reverberating sound, or in this case, mentally, you just, your head, your heart, your soul feels empty, and it seems like everything you do just echoes into infinity, like no one can hear you, right? On this ground feels so heavier, I'm singing by myself, I just want to be happier. Would this also be greed? Would also be returned, like, referred to as, like, is it selfish of me to want these things? Oh my god, this is such a good song, dude. Good choice.
늘 봤는데 but 오늘은 왠지 낯선 새 무뎌진 걸까 무너진 걸까 근데 무겁게 남아있었던 일 다가오는 회색 코뿔소 주점 없이 난 덩그러니 서있어 나답지가 않아 이 순간 그냥 무섭지가 않아 난 확신이라 신따위 안 믿어 새 같은 말을 간지러 넓은 회색 지대가 변해 여기 수억 가지 표정의 그래 비가 오면 내 세상 이 도시 위로 춤춘다 맑은 날은 안개보는 날은 함께 여기 모든 먼지들 I just wanna be happy 내 손에 어깨 느껴줘 따뜻하지 않아서 네가 더 필요해 Oh this ground feels so heavy and I'm singing by myself 먼 훗날 내가 웃게 되면 말할게
Oh my god, dude, there's so much in there. Kind of got lost for a second, but we're back. To that. Okay. So he comes in and says, the sound of my heart beating faster that I felt while walking on the cold winter streets. I would still feel it. So the anxiousness, the nervousness, the pounding of like your heart as you're kind of freaking out. So it sounds like a panic attack. Still feel it, but don't say you're okay because you aren't, right? It's pretty self-explanatory. Please don't leave yourself alone. It hurts so much. So this must be like the comforting side of the song, right? The reassurance aspect. As a side note, objects and subjects are often missing in Korean language. The above line can therefore be interpreted as, please don't leave me alone. It hurts so much. I chose to translate it as, please don't leave yourself alone, because of the preceding two lines. Don't say that you're okay because you aren't. And because the whole song is about the self. I took the three lines as a monologue, you equals I, where I convince myself, you, not to ignore pain that I, or you, have, and not to leave myself, you, alone in the darkness. I mean, essentially, when you hear a song and you hear yous and I's, you kind of, if you relate to it, you're going to think about yourself anyway. But that's a good snippet of information to put in there. At least we know the translation aspect and why it was changed a little bit. The road I always walk along, the light that always shines on me, but the scene that feels unfamiliar today for some reason. Would it be that I became numb to it? Would it be that I collapsed? Wow. The road that I always walked along, the light that always shines on me, but the scene that feels unfamiliar today for some reason. Would it be that I became numb to it? Be that I collapsed. So it's almost like you're numb to the good things that are happening to you in the world because of the fact that you're so overwhelmed with the negative aspects. That's what I gather from that. That's what that sounds like to me. But it does feel heavy, this lump of metal, a gray rhino that comes towards me. So let's read this before I go into my explanation. A gray rhino is an economics financial term used to describe a highly profitable or probable high-impact threat that is often neglected. Like a gray rhino, the threat, gloomy and anxious internal emotions in the song, comes to one invisible, obvious way. So it's almost like a trigger, in a sense, because like when you see a rhino will charge at you and they won't stop, and you don't want to be in the way of that. You don't even want to be in the situation. And it's kind of where I'm feeling the vibe is leaning towards. It's the same aspect, right? Absently, I stand with vacant eyes. It's not like me. This moment, I just had no fear. Oh my god, dude. What? So the standing with vacant eyes. Have you ever caught someone staring off into space thinking about whatever? And it's the dissociation is what they're talking about. When someone is just like so over something, or they don't care about what's going on around them, they're just in their head, that you could talk straight to them and they don't even hear you. Because like they could be looking at you and they don't even hear you. It's because they dissociated and they're in their head dealing with their problems, or off in La La Land as we like to call it. Just to get away from the world. Not because that, they don't care or because they're worried. It's because they're getting away. And inside their head there's so much going on that they're dealing with something internally, mentally, or they're trying to escape something mentally. They're trying to escape something physical by going in there mentally. That's crazy. And I just have no fear. You just don't care what happens, right? So I do believe in God. That's called conviction. The wordplay, pronounced Watson, is conviction, assurance, and confidence. And pronounce sin means God, 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 right? Side note, I received questions regarding the use of the God, God here. The symbol is used solely for the purpose of wordplay and rhyme, meaning-wise, you can read this line as, I don't believe in the concept of conviction. Okay, see, that was a good explanation, because I wouldn't have, put that together. It says, I don't believe in God. That's called conviction. So it's kind of like an oxymoron in a sentence, right? An oxymoron is something that has nothing to do with something else, right? Oxymoron. And usually when you think conviction, it's a strength in dedication towards something, whether it be belief or a commitment. And it says, I don't believe in God. And that's the conviction. It's like he's trying to say he doesn't believe in God, right? And it's not true. It's just he doesn't believe it's God's fault, etc. It's like this has nothing to do with God. That's not where my conviction is. I'm not blaming a higher power for my lack of happiness, per se. He says, words like color make me feel cringy. Why? Just because colorful, like color, like brightness, is linked to positivity, I guess? Like, there are certain colors that are linked to positivity and stuff. I'm glowing. Holy crap. I'm trying to stay back. I'm trying to get the color right on my camera. I feel comfortable with the vast gray area. This is from Forever Rain. I want to live in an ashy world, knowing that there's no such thing as eternity. Because if everything's gray, then everything's the same, right? Then everybody knows how you feel if there's no definition. Because if there's no definition, you can't ever really be, like, above or below somebody because everyone sees the same thing. Oh, maybe it's a mental thing, because everyone sees the same thing in a world of gray versus everyone having different perspectives. That would make more sense. Hear the gray that has hundreds of millions of facial expressions. When it rains, it's my world. I dance upon this city. On a clear day, give it some fog. Okay? On a rainy day, together and always. And see, that's how I feel about rain. I like rainy days. Not because it's just like I hate the sun or anything, but to me it's just peaceful, it's calm, it's everybody's kind of stuck inside, right? We all have to go through the same things. I guess I feel this song on a different level. I raise a glass for all these dusts here. What? RM describes people who make up the world as dust particles that make up the vast gray area. Okay, so we are the ash, essentially. This made me think of his fan cafe post back in 2016. My brain really does impressive things when it comes to Bangtan. He shared a post on the fine dust. Korea suffers from a severe air pollution that is characterized by microdust and is usually rambling, and in his usual rambling style. Okay, see, I appreciate the context. That makes more sense. The second half of the post goes like, but also sometimes I feel sorry for the dusts, because they are thrown and carried away just because they are made the fault. That is not really fault of existing. Just by breathing, they become the unwelcome guest, the harm. How sad the life of dust is. There isn't anyone who treats precious and stores a dust particle. Well, I think it's not possible, but if it's possible that dust have personality, would that be called dustnality? Wouldn't all dust in the world gather in one place and build a city of dust, the Dust Republic? Would then the world without dust will just be clean and refreshing? What? RM, what were you smoking? I don't know. Even aside from the real dust, there are so many dust floating around among people. Perhaps we could just be big chunks of dust. To the universe, a dust of what color would I be? Tonight as well, I blow this dust like away. It's kind of like we're all stardust, kind of, in my sense. But if you think in the physical sense of the word dust, nobody likes dust in their house. And we dust because, like, it's just part of a cleaning routine. The less dust there is, the cleaner the air is. So is he saying that people are evil and then he wishes that they weren't around? I have a lot of questions about that. Interesting read, though. It does sound something like RM would say. So, not in the negative sense, but the philosophical sense. Okay, then we go through the chorus one more time. It says, I just want to be happier. Please feel the warmth of my hands. It's because they are not warm that I need you even more. On this ground feels so heavier, I am singing by myself in the distant future. In the distant future, when I get to smile, I'll tell you that there was such a time. The side note says, we now know that the distant future has arrived because they are singing about the time, telling us about that time. So, if this is the distant future, is it like the song is supposed to be progressively like, now that we've come this far, we're looking back on things, we're having regrets, when there really is no reason to have regrets? Alright, I think we're a little ahead of ourselves, but let's keep going. Because I think at this point right here is where we're at now. Wow. Okay, so now that we're back, alright, we'll read that part again. In the distant future, when I get to smile, I'll tell you there was such a time. We now know that the distant future has arrived because they are singing about the time, telling us about the time. So essentially, it's supposed to be like this entire song was like a thought in his head, right? It says, after secretly collecting words that wander around in the void, now I fall asleep at dawn. Good night. He spent the whole night, endless nights, thinking about these things, and they've driven him mad, essentially, to the point of like insomnia, to where you sleep during the day, which is supposed to be kind of like a symptom of depression. For me, it's like I'm usually working, so like I don't know, I just vibe better at night. Like I just feel comfortable. It's quiet, there's not a lot going on, it's not hot outside, right? It's peaceful, there's not a lot of traffic, it's just quiet. I appreciate the quiet. But a lot of people, especially me at one point in my life, I'd stay up at night because it was just like my thoughts drove me nuts to the point where I was the person who was depressed. And in a lot of ways, about some things, I still guess I kind of am. But I don't stay up all night because I'm depressed. I stay up all night because I can't get a good sleep schedule. But hopefully that's fixed today. So I said, now I fall asleep at dawn. Good night. And that's the end of the song, right? This song that's supposed to be comforting. I didn't really get a lot of comfort out of the lyrics, but I got a lot of comfort out of the song itself. I see the resolution and the aspect of the jump in time has now come forward, and it's almost like he came out of his head. Like the whole song was in his head, that spaced out vibe, that's what was going on inside. And then him saying the distant future and talking about it after the fact. We now have that space and time where he's come out of his head, and the last two lines, after secretly collecting the words that wander around in the void, I fall asleep. So it's like, was this song like produced due to like that mood? I wonder. Like, was the song? Well, I mean, I don't know why I'm asking questions. We read it at the beginning. Yeah, that's why this song was produced. So I guess we kind of understand where Tay's coming from. So that's cool. That's cool to have it come full circle like that. So, wow, I can't believe I forgot that. we got all the way through the song, read all that stuff, and said all these things, and then I totally spaced all the beginning. So yeah, we read that, and that's what the song is about. So I get the message. Pretty cool. It didn't go as quick as I had expected, but it's still very, very awesome song. I'm ready to check out it live. I wonder what the stage presence is with these guys. So I'm gonna go find one. I'll be right back. You guys sit tight. I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, what's up guys? I'm back. We're not going to be doing a live for this song. I am going to record the live reaction from the MTV version of Blue and Gray, but MTV will not allow me to put this up, so this will be on my Patreon for free. You guys go check it out. I will see you guys there if you do. If not, know that I enjoyed this song. I really love this song. From the music to the meaning and to knowing the backstory of this, it was an excellent watch through. And I can't wait to see what the next request is going to be. T, thank you for your suggestion. I appreciate it. I enjoyed it. And hopefully the next request will be just as good as this one. Y'all stay safe, stay healthy. Check you guys later.